Before we begin, thank you very much to TJOmega's 3D Printers Lawyer, serving you with papers for overworking my client, for joining the Patreon campaign. Look, he's doing fine. He got like a week-long break after I left. You know, he's doing fine. He's doing fine. You know, just had 3 straight days of work, morning, noon, and night. But that's okay. It's okay. He still worked less than 40 hours. No, he didn't. He worked. Never mind. Don't get me in trouble. But thank you very much for supporting. I have 1 shout out to go left in the queue. And if that shout-out streak ends on October 31st, Halloween night, that will be exactly 9 months straight of shout-outs without ever doing my normal intro, which is ridiculous. Thank you, everyone, for that level of support. If it comes up tomorrow and that is the end, then that is the end. And it's been a wild ride. So thank you, everyone, for taking me on it for so long. Oh boy. Alright, we got a news roundup to do. We don't have that much news to get through, so of course I will still manage to push this over 20 minutes somehow. So let's take back another look at MCM London ComicCon, because we do have a little bit more coming out of that, and we'll start and finish the video with it. For starters, a lot of Legacy United was on display in box, so we get to see nice close-up shots of a lot of that. You can see poor Thundertron has been through a lot. His box looks like it tipped, frankly, like most of the boxes I see at Walmart, really. Yeah, that's actually pretty typical. I'm looking at the box in the back, and I'm spotting Tasmania Kid's 20-step transformation as a core class. It's more than 16 on Windblade. That's kind of crazy. Now I really want to know how that works. Let's see. And yeah, the packaging still looks good. Maybe a little unchanged. I could have done with a little bit more of a color shift, but it is what it is. And, you know, the toys still look good out of box. You know, it's always nice to get more pictures of them just to see what's on the way. Showed off a bunch of the current stuff as well. No real big surprises there. Now, it's just a quick little last look at some of the stuff in package before we get into all the stuff. Now, of course, earlier in the week, MCM London did show off a ton of stuff. They did show off a lot of things on screen. We already talked about them. I was waiting for the official images to come up before I talked about it, but those took all night before Hasbro finally posted them. But now we actually have those, so we actually get to talk about these in depth, and we actually get to stare very, very longingly at these. So, concept art Decepticon Rumble. I've already seen the discourse, and I've already pitched into it myself, realizing that concept art series is going to be just carte blanche for them to make any character in movie style, and just say that that was a design that got cut. They can literally make just about anything now with that line. But we see Rumble, 11 steps. He just turns into a box that's going to fit into your Bumblebee movie Soundwave, so nothing real shocking there. He has the mouth plate, which is interesting. As I said before, it kind of looks like he's Soundwave's child now. A little detail someone noticed on the box mode. He has Decepticon symbols tampographed onto the bottom of his pile drivers, which means every time he smashes an Autobot with it, he is branding them with a Decepticon logo. That's actually a cool little touch. For such a tiny figure, it at least looks interesting. It's got a decent amount of paint on it. Yeah, just a nice little accessory piece for your Soundwave, who only has, 1 Ravage to transform. So hopefully we get a Laserbeak in this style too, because I wouldn't mind like that Soundwave having like a proper number of cassette minions to go with them. We also saw Mohawk, and Mohawk looking pretty good for a core class. The paint work is a little bit weird, so in the movie, yes, his paint is kind of splattered all around him. It's supposed to look kind of graffiti. What's kind of weird to me is that his Mohawk is one of his most prominent green details. And yeah, you can see it there in the details and like in the artwork, and they're not. They didn't paint the Mohawk, which is a little bit disappointing. Well, he actually does transform pretty nicely. I can see his head and his mohawk in there, right there in the core. But you know, that's actually not a bad motorcycle for a core class. So I'm cautiously optimistic here because I kind of want it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I try to avoid studio series, but I kind of want this. Kind of want it. Scorponok also coming in on this line in the deluxe. Now, before I looked at this artwork and I thought to myself, because it was hard to see, so I thought like, oh well, like it looks like his beast mode pinchers become his feet, kind of like quick strike style. But no. Like, here's what's happening. It's hard to see even in this shot. We need a top-down view to really see it. The entirety of his robot mode arm is folded up into the scorpion claw. That's what's going on here. So like that ball joint spot, the point that it's connected to on the claw, that's his shoulder. That's the shoulder of the toy, and it all collapses into his torso for the robot mode. Okay, that's different. That's doing something different with your Scorpion Transformer. Very, very nice. The tail coming off as a weapon, we've seen that. Looks like the other little arms still have articulations, so they can come through if you want to have like extra arms in robot mode. And I believe, yeah, he's just kind of using his beast head as his robot mode head, which was typical of the first Scorponok deluxe toy for the movies too. He's an interesting looking one. I might actually pick him up. He doesn't look too complicated, and he's doing some interesting stuff. So I might just pick him because, like, ooh, Scorpion, cool. Wheeljack is another talking point. Wheeljack, licensed VW bus, and he looks really, really nice. It looks like he uses quite a bit of bulk from his vehicle mode in order to form the robot mode. Like I said, I'm curious how his transformation accomplishes those door wings, which are inside out. The one thing to him, does he look a little thin? And I don't mean like thin like horizontally. I mean like in depth, right? Does it look like he doesn't really have much of like a doesn't have much of a torso behind just the front of his chest and belly? That's the only part of him right now. It's a little bit weird to me. I would need some more of a profile shot of him just so I could kind of see if there was any kind of structure behind there. That's the only weird part, though, because I actually kind of like how much bulk he has, and not nearly as much kibble as a lot of Studio Series figures do. And yeah, the van mode, not too shabby. I kind of like how the van looks, so that all works. That's all good for me. And then we have the Megatron. Packaging art looks fine. You know, it looks like a movie-esque Megatron, much more G1 slanted than previous. Yep, there's the triple change, and it's a complicated triple changer for something that just kind of looks like the robot mode, kind of folded up with wings in a cockpit. The jet mode, having 39 steps, is kind of insane. So, let's see. Unreleased movie concept of Megatron and Transformers Bumblebee leading the Decepticons in a final attack on Cybertron. Let's see. Tank mode still looks good. Obviously, he's just got, like, arms making up the turret. So that's a little bit cheap, but again, Cybertronian mode, you can get away with things like that. Robot mode looking really, really good. The silvers, if Studio Series got anything right, it's silvers and gunmetal colors. So those all look well and good. So still looking pretty solid. No shot of the jet mode, which is weird. It's weird to advertise as a triple changer and only show off one of the modes. Not a clue. Not a clue. Looking good, though. Again, one of the ones I might make an exception on and actually go Studio Series for. Alright, and then we have these as well. So, okay, Scrapheap, no big deal. He does look like he's a heavy retool, I'm sure. Like, I've already heard someone say that, yeah, it looks like he's got extra transformation steps. It's still the same old toy. It's just the same old Junkion that's just kind of okay. And I'm not really big on that. You know, I think I've just kind of had it with the Junkion mold at this point. I understand the need for 3. But still, it's an interesting choice considering how badly the last one shelf warmed. Oh well. I mean, it looks okay. It looks okay. It looks different enough from Wreck-Gar and Junk Heap. But still, I don't know. It's not the most inspiring. It's not the most exciting release they could have done. It just kind of feels like it just fills the wave, you know? And now we have to discuss the elephant in the room, which is Starscream. This one is getting torn up online all over the place. So, yeah, we get to the actual shot here. So everyone has been insulting the cockpit. Everyone has noticed the cockpit is noticeably larger, way larger than it was on the original toy, and very like bulbous and very off model. Hasbro did like there is a behind the scenes. There is a behind the scenes here. They did do it behind the scenes, showing off more shots of it, more poses, etc. And we'll go back to that here in a bit. But like they did explain in this little behind the scenes thing that they had to make the cockpit larger to accommodate the head because that's where it goes in the transformation. There's something suspect to that for starters. But yes, here's the stock images. They did also confirm that the handles would now be included on the figures' weapons, so you don't have to do like the removable arm thing, which is good. Yeah, the jet mode is actually more on model, I will admit, because it does, like in War for Cybertron, it did have a very small wing profile, so that part is off. Aside from like the huge canopy, but for the behind the scenes stuff. So for starters, like I said, they did point out that a lot of the preview pictures so far have shown these being missing. There are additional accessories that have to be attached. They are in the little accessory burrito that comes with your toys now. I don't understand, well, I understand why, because package thieves, and they won't put a window on the box anymore. But it's weird, because now they're like pointed up, and they're not actually doing anything in the transformation. They're just there for detail. And they're not like folded down onto the torso like they should be. So they're just there, and they look really awkward. So they did some mistakes here. One, they showed it next to the CAD model, which between the game's CAD model and Hasbro's, and they show just how off model this whole thing looks. The shoulders don't look right. The torso absolutely does not look right. Shoulder things don't look right. There's more of an angle to the game's CAD that helps those intakes on the back. Going straight up and down on the toy CAD, it looks like bunny ears. And then to look across, like, the details on the legs are a lot larger than they are on the original. The angles on the legs are different than the original. The spikes on the knees are smaller. The feet aren't correct. There's a lot going on here. Overall, it feels like a very swollen version of the game CAD. And then they show it next to the original toy. They showed it off next to the last time they did this Starscream. And you know what? The original still looks way better, and it looks way more on. It looks way closer. It looks far more on model to the original one. Like, look, there's the game model. Tell me how that Studio Series looks better, or looks more close to the model than the original toy does. You can't, because it doesn't. And I've seen so many people, oh my god, I've seen so many people just go like, but the original has an exposed head in vehicle mode. It's the back of the head. It can be solved with a flip-out panel if you really wanted to. Seriously, it's not worth griping over. It's such a minor gripe, and it's so dumb to ignore all the other ways that it's off-model just because of that one little detail that's griping you. I hate this thing. It looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible. It really makes me wonder what has gone on with Gamer Edition. You did one good toy and then 5 clunkers. They did the behind the scenes for the Megatron too. So let's get back into like good looking toys. This is the original concept art, by the way, which actually looks closer to like how Marauder Megatron worked, which would have been like simple, you know, fold out nose cone, the tank treads fold up and eject winglets. And that's pretty much all you really have to do. But the final design is way more complicated than that because, of course, we have to complicate it. It still looks good. Don't get me wrong. Look how clean he looks. There is no junk on him whatsoever. He looks amazing. Gonna be pretty big too, like compared to a Voyager at least. There's a better look at the jet and the back side of it as well. Still a little haphazard, but I'm curious why it has so many transformation steps. It might actually be a lot more to this one than I expect. But no, did a fantastic job. It looks wonderful. Like a rare Studio Series toy I'm looking forward to. Alright, let's get on to a little bit more of the official images that we can now take a look at. So Magmatron has his inbox photos, and he's looking really, really nice. They don't really describe what the dinosaurs are supposed to be. A little bit weird. Box art looking good. Nice close-ups images, clean images of the different beast modes. I'm still looking at those little blades in the wings of Skysaur, and I'm just like Skysaurus, and I'm just like, yeah, that absolutely has to unpeg, because it's not even close to the colors of the rest of the wing. Like, it absolutely looks like a separate piece. I'm just hoping for more accessory, that's all. But he looks good. He still looks really, really good. And then this one we didn't talk about at all because I really didn't care. But Stranger Things doing a crossover with Transformers, and Code Red being the name of the figure itself. It looks like it's inspired by studios, either like Deluxe or Voyager Ironhide from the Studio Series 86 stuff, or Earthrise, depending on which mold. It looks nice. It looks nice enough. I'm not into Stranger Things myself, so this one is kind of a miss for me. I'm not going to be grabbing this one. But I do think the packaging is neat, like actually done up in a pizza box, and it comes in like a tray that looks like it's like a pizza that it's stuck in, which is kind of funny. Yeah, I kind of feel like it feels interesting that as long as they were doing like the Volkswagen license for Wheeljack, they went ahead and did it for this as well. I don't know, like there's still part of me that just kind of looks at this and just screams, like, you really wanted to do a Ninja Turtle crossover that didn't pan out, didn't you? I don't know. That's just me though. That's just me though. So I'm sure there's Stranger Things fans out there who are gonna love this, and Stranger Things being like set in the 80s, perfect for a Transformers collaboration. Perfect. All right. We have potato quality pictures of Transformers RED Grimlock. I don't know how Transformers RED is still alive, but it is. Grimlock's still looking weird. They threw a lot of color onto him, which kind of defies the animation model accuracy they're going for in RED. And then the weird red chest. I don't know what this is. We're doing weird things, putting like translucence onto the chest of Grimlock toys now, which is fine. The original one had it too. But seriously, why red? Why the red? He's noticeably way bigger than some of the others from Transformers RED. Optimus Prime here, like, he's a full head taller than Prime, which is cool. So you do get a decent look at it. Look, he's taller than a Voyager. It's going to be like a special price point or something, because, like, oh my god. But, yeah, okay, that's why the chest is red, because that was the clear plastic they were using for the sword. Okay, I see. It is what it is. Transformers RED is not impressive to me. Okay, flip down chest. You don't have a matrix, do you? Nope. It looks like it's a little bit limited in articulation, which a lot of Transformers RED things are. But it doesn't look bad aside from, like, I don't understand the red chest thing. No, it's okay. It's okay for what it is. I'm just shocked that, like, here we are coming up on 2024 and Transformers RED is still alive somehow. But I don't know, it's just weird. Oh no, cannot be low Dragon there. Alright, I guess we gotta move on to something else. Alright, Guido Guidi has been active, showing off a whole bunch of his artwork, including some unreleased covers for Transformers 84, which does have a lot of really nice shots of a very comic book-esque Megatron. We have Decepticon leaders that were not Megatron from the original Marvel run. Nice homage covers. Yeah, Guido Guidi still just continues to be one of my favorite Transformer artists ever. I love seeing more of his work. It's really cool he's getting to show off some stuff that we never got to see before. And we've got others, too. He also showed off unreleased covers for Transformers Devastation. Highly underrated game. Probably the best Transformers video game we got. And they're all kind of variants on a theme. Group shots with Devastator in the background. And it doesn't look bad. Does not look bad at all. There's a lot of these where this probably would go. Maybe not Devastator looking like he's scared of what's coming at him next. That one maybe not for the cover, but like this was cool. This would have been cool. Yeah, it's just a whole lot of really nice artwork, isn't it? We like nice artwork here. All right, a little behind the scenes stuff. The Marvel Sunbow archive has been busy once again. For a grand total of 52 minutes, we have the original recording for the episode The Revenge of Bruticus. If you want to hear what the VA sounded like before the vocal effects got added in, this is where you can do that. You can also hear a whole lot of things that didn't make it into the final cut. Little lines here and there that got scrapped, or, like different takes that didn't make it in. Lots of fun stuff. Lots of interesting stuff. I like behind-the-scenes stuff like this. I like seeing how the sausage is made. So this is cool. This is fun. And, of course, we've worked with the Marvel Sunbow Archive in the past for videos. They do incredible work, so go check them out. It's like there's some like cool historic stuff here. And just to finish off the artwork just a little bit, like I said, we're going to take one last look at MCM London ComicCon and these beautiful G1 murals that were painted by Muralwalls for the event, filled with not only like classic G1 stuff like the grids, in the explosion background, Optimus and Megatron and their great G1 likenesses, and then actual quotes from the first time these two had a one-on-one in the original cartoon. Nice little touch there. And a nice way of finishing off our news roundup for the week. Thank you very much for watching. You are now caught up on your news for the week. And stay tuned. Halloween coming up. I think being sick recently kind of like killed my efforts to do a Halloween special, unfortunately. But we'll throw something up there. We'll figure out something. So until then, I will see you next time.
We parlay with the captain.
You think a werecroc is going to listen to elvish rules of piracy?
Of course it would be the freaking elves that invented parlay.
I had to think of a quick replacement for the French.